So like Latte is here. He's usually in military uniform, so I didn't quite see him. That's like Latte. He exited the Mills administration as the national former national security coordinator. Like Latte's background is interesting. He is one of the few army officers who is supremely qualified academically. He's a chartered accountant, I believe. He's also a lawyer. He has an international relations degree as well from Lesia. So Latte is very well prepared for it. Now, in terms of his military background, he's a fighting officer who rose early in his career to become the commanding officer of the 64 Infantry Regiment Battalion. Now, this feared 64 Infantry Regiment Battalion was set up by Rawlins to establish regime security, very similar to Nkrumah setting up something similar called Osagyefo's Own Guard, which was led by General Bauer, a man with relations with Joyce Bauer Montgomery, or Joyce Bauer's husband, something like that. So Larry Latte is coming from that background. He's a fighting officer. He's a Rawlins man. He sort of brings the Rawlins part of the party into the John Mahama situation, something that John Mahama desperately needs. The Rawlins bit of it, he desperately needs it. Not that he needs it to unite the party, because here is a party that has won an overwhelming 80% majority. He really doesn't need anything to unite anybody. But if he wants to, moving forward, sort of make people comfortable, and I saw him do that with the appointment of Guzitano as part of the transition team, he may be thinking about bringing back Bevlolati to do what Bevlolati can do. He can really do it. Okay, so that's one conversation in the mind of the president. Now, this man here, who used to be deputy minister for works and housing back in the day, also has security background. He's the one who has been coordinating the security system of the party people working towards election 2024. So most of the party people who are working, all those things you heard, body cams on, put on body cams at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock, it is him. He was mobilizing that operation. So they have sort of created their own pseudo national security during the campaign, and he was in charge. So all of those people are responding to him and are hoping that he becomes Minister for National Security. Because he was operating that campaign and was reporting directly to John Dramani Mahama, he has built a relationship of trust with President Mahama over the last 2 years in doing this work. From what happened in the results and the way in which the NDC was able to find out their results early, a lot is attributed to his ability to coordinate the process. And he has been a minister before. Given all the circumstances, he is thought of as being one of the important factors that John Mahama is considering. Prosper Bani is an official of the United Nations. He's worked for the United Nations for that long. He also worked as a chief of staff for President Mahama. From chief of staff, he went to work as Minister for Interior. So with his UN background and having been Minister for Interior and being a really intelligent man, people think that perhaps Prosper Bani, who was your chief of staff, whom you trust, President Mahama said that he was also, I think, his roommate in Legon, something like that. So somebody that he really trusts. That's Prosper Bani. He wants to be National Security Coordinator. But for we, the boys on the ground, we, the boys on the ground, you know, the Gashimokwe, those that we see Jama and things, you know, those of us who like Jama, you know, happiness, we are Kofi Boachi. All of us, the Jama boys. We will want Kofi Boachi to be National Security Boss, because Kofi Boachi is our man. He's the Jama boys. We play the Jama. We are jumping about. We want action. We want action. Action is Kofi Boachi. Where is President Mahama going to throw it at? We don't know. Let's wait and see what happens by next week. By Christmas Day, I understand that the first list is going to be announced sometime next week. Chief of Staff, Deputy Chief of Staff is going to be announced. We all expect the name of Julius Debra to be announced as a Chief of Staff. It doesn't look like anything is going to change over there. Deputy Chief of Staff, we don't know, but we think that Edwiji Tamaklo is being considered for Deputy Chief of Staff. Whilst he wants to be Deputy Attorney General, if he wants our advice, we'll tell him that being Deputy Chief of Staff as a lawyer is probably better than being Deputy Attorney General. Why? Because Deputy Chief of Staffs attend cabinets, Deputy Attorney Generals don't attend cabinet. So if you want something, if you know your friends who are looking for things and they can be Deputy Chief of Staff, tell them to be that. It will give them a better training ground, a better experience for the future. But this is an important decision for John Dramani Mahama. National Security Coordinator is going to be a big deal. What is he going to decide? Is he going to decide to make Prosper Bani the National Security Minister and make Bevlolati the National Security Coordinator and take Kofi Boachi to Oyoko, where Yoko is for police officers? He's been a police officer before. He just retired as a COP. Will you take him to Yoko and then perhaps take our man from Ashanti to another position? We don't know what President Mahama will do. But the most important choice in the security apparatus is not the National Security Minister, it's the National Security Coordinator. That's the job that Kofi Boachi wants. That's the job that Bevlolati has executed perfectly before. What's going to happen? Your guess is as good as mine. Let's see what President Mahama says. Text message. Let's come to the table and see who and whom could be very well prepared for this job. Let's begin with the one who is looking for it, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa. He's desperately looking for it. Now, Ablakwa has been the ranking member for Foreign Affairs for the NDC in Parliament for the last 4 years. In his role as ranking member of Foreign Affairs, he believes he has been able to uncover some corruption and something untoward relating to government dealings with bungalows in Norway and some land in Ghana for some foreign service mission people. He's been whistleblowing on some of these things. So he feels that he has done a yeoman's job to bring himself into the position of a minister. His last exit from government was a deputy minister at education. Before then, he was a deputy minister at information. So he's been deputy minister at information, deputy minister at education. Now he wants to be a real minister, and his choice is foreign affairs, because in parliament he's been working as the ranking member for a while. With all the things that have been said, do you think it should be Okudzeto Ablakwa? But he's the one looking for it. Let me jump over the two distinguished ladies and come to Joyce Bauer. Joyce Bauer here, who's been dancing quite a lot after the NDC victory. She seems very, very excited, and rightly so. She's been dancing a lot. Joyce Bauer here was deputy minister at transport. That's her last job. She was deputy to Jifar Tivo, and then the party went into position. She went to President Mahama's office. Now, Joyce Bauer here wants to be foreign minister. That's the lobby that she's put across. She's been serving President Mahama for 8 years as a special assistant in President Mahama's office. She's a barrister called to practice in Ghana. She has not gone to do her barrister work. She has dedicated her concept and her legal brain to the support of John Dramani Mahama's office. Victory has come. Victory has come in leaps and bounds, in huge quantities. Now, with such huge quantity victory, Joyce Bauer is saying that it is time for me to be foreign minister of Ghana. So that's on the card. Okay. My uncle Kojobo Nsu from Mesha Palace, Apejafie, also thinking that this issue about foreign minister, we cannot joke with. We can't joke with it. The foreign minister we need in Ghana at this time must be one who has true international business connections. You are in an IMF program already. You are not able to borrow from the commercial market. If you don't have a foreign minister who can go to Maldives, Abu Dhabi, Singapore, the non-traditional areas of getting money and support, if you don't have a foreign minister who can do that, Kojobo Nsu is telling them, Charlie, forget it. It's not going to happen. The developments won't happen because you're in an IMF program. So your choice for foreign minister must not just be about the political legal issues I'm discussing. It must be a business choice for somebody who can go there with the mandate to bring business into Ghana. And he thinks, and the lobby for Kojobo Nsu says, that one has to be Kojobo Nsu, foreign minister. Then now let's come to the two ladies. Hannah Tete exited the last government as foreign minister. So very similar argument to JM. John Dramani Mahama was president. He did one term. He left. He couldn't get the second term even though he wanted it. He's now come back with a whooping super majority to complete his second term. In the last term, his foreign minister was Hannah Tete. They went to UN together. They went to Commonwealth together. They wrote the speeches together. President Mahama is coming to sort of continue that last term that he had, as it were. In the circumstances, who best be the foreign minister with all the things that I've said that the foreign ministry needs? Shouldn't it be Hannah Tete? That's what the lobby of Hannah Tete is saying, that let's get to Hannah Tete. But Timothy Idris's lobby is watching all of this and saying that, but if we have to have a foreign minister, and for some reason people don't want Hannah Tete, I can do it. She's been at the Commonwealth Secretariat before. She's a very senior person. She's been Attorney General. She's been Minister of Education. She has extensive international profile. She was president of the FIDA Africa. She's been big in formation of the voices for women using the legal profession across Africa to form FIDA Africa, FIDA Ghana. She's been a patron of FIDA Ghana forever. She has this wide experience and she has an ability to bring people together. Her husband is a long servant of the NDC, the Keda, Alhaji Mahama Idrisu. So, Betty Mould has a claim, doesn't she? Well, let's wait for John Dramani Mahama to see the decision that he'll be taking later today.